98% lose. Reality is a game. There are winners and there are losers. Now, what actually makes somebody a winner in their reality is their ability to create their desired reality, which is exactly why you're watching this video. And I will show you how to do that. It's very important, however, that you know why 98% of people lose the game that is reality, because that's all it is. It's a game. And I'm going to give you 5 rules of the game that you've definitely never heard anybody tell you when you first landed on this physical plane, that, hey, here's how you win this game. We always think it's something to do with finances or learning this particular form of education. But there is no better education in the universe than universal education. Metaphysics is the highest level of knowledge, which is why there's literal secret societies dedicated to making sure you never learn what I'm about to tell you. Now, how do we win the game that is reality? If that's a question you never asked yourself, then I don't know, man. I don't know what I want for you, but I can definitely guarantee that more than likely you have. The first thing is this. You have to be very, very particular in the way that you see the world around you, because until you change the way you look at life, life won't change the way it looks at you. Quite literally, because you are reality, you are the universe, you are your own universe. But before I actually drop the 5 rules, I have to make this very, very apparent to you that 98% of the world view life as a battle. And so long as you see life or reality as a battle, then it will be. And that's mainly because of one of the particular rules that I'll get into. But the first thing you have to realize is that it's not a battle, it's a game. And once you see life as a game, having this level of perception raises you above quite literally 98% of people that are trapped by their self-inflicted torments, their self-inflicted suffering, failures, and misfortunes due to seeing life as a battle, inherently meaning that it has to be almost conflict somewhere along the line. But once you see it as a game and you normalize it, you then understand the cheat codes that I'm about to drop you right now that is going to make all the difference in all of this. So make sure you really lock into what I'm about to say. The first rule of the game. Make sure you got your notes out. I want to see notes in the comments. Remember, if you're here watching this shit to pass the time, nigga, you better click off this video. We're only dedicated to one thing here, and that is you being able to create your desired reality without all the kind of new agey, corny stuff. Unfortunately, I ain't got no vegan sandals on. Crystals, I ran out of those, and unfortunately my my alkaline food is it's not here. I eat meat, pause. Anyways, rule number 1. Reality is not a physical game. Now, you have to understand, I don't know when you got into this particular type of knowledge, but for the most part, most people play the game of reality thinking it's a physical game. And what I mean by that is they're confined within the 3rd dimensional structure and merely perpetuate the idea that this is all that exists. And the cause and effect of what takes place within this realm happens solely within this 3rd dimensional realm, not understanding that there are multiple dimensions, there are 3 planes, and we're going to get into that. But reality is not a physical game. So what most people do is this. Most people work hard. Now, safe to say, chances are you grew up in a particular type of household where you saw your parents working extremely hard. You're probably in that position right now, trying to work hard to pay off your debts, your bills, so on and so forth. And you'd work really, really hard to make changes. Now, what you don't understand is where you are. Because once you understand what reality really is, you'll no longer think that the game that you're playing is a physical game. It's not about physical action. Working hard is another way of saying action. It's not about your physical action. It's really about understanding the behind the scenes. So, most people work hard. That's what most people do. So I'll put a big 98% here like you saw at the start. 98%, oh. Can't lie, I am never wiping this whiteboard with my fingers again. That is absolutely disgusting. I'm never ever doing that again. One thing you lot don't know about me is that I'm a real clean freak. I'm just not into all the trampy stuff. But anyways, 98% of people work hard. They take physical action to get a result. They think the way that they win the game in their heads is through taking action. Action specifically within the third dimensional realm that we call reality. And this is why so many of us watch our parents growing up in the same cycles over and over again, and it's because they're not understanding how the real game is played. Taking action in the third dimensional realm is irrelevant because reality is not a physical game. What is reality then, Nero? Since it's not a physical game, get to it, Nero. Relax, you're gonna get some. Reality is a mental, spiritual game. That's the first thing you have to realize. The real game is played mentally and spiritually. The real game is what you can't see. That is the real game. That's how it really works. Now, coming to this understanding that most people play the game by taking physical action with the third dimensional realm, the people that truly win the game are those individuals that are able to play the game on the mental plane. Nero, what do you mean? Relax. You're gonna get some. Remember, reality is not a physical game. Reality is not a physical game. Beat that into your head, because unfortunately, you've been caught up in the same mistake as everybody else. And until you break free from these lies, you're gonna be like that fly that is trapped in your crib trying to get outside by bashing into the window. Pause on the bashing. But if it just done a 180-degree turn in terms of its paradigm, it'd be able to fly out the window. Now, you have to understand this. There are 3 planes of existence. For the purpose of breaking down the true game to you, I'm only going to go into 2 of them. There is the mental plane, and there is the physical plane. Now, the physical plane is what we call reality. It's where people are working really hard to make a change. This is the realm of effect. The mental plane is the realm of cause. Now, how most people think is, I want to win this game. I want to create my desired reality. What can I do physically to change my reality? Essentially, what that is saying is, how do I change an effect by changing an effect? That don't make sense. If you want to change an effect, as you know, you must change the cause. An effect cannot change an effect. An effect can only be changed by a cause. Stay with me now. Stay with me now. What most people do is they take the physical action that they think will get them towards the direction that they want, without first changing the cause that is creating that physical action. I'll give you an example. Think about New Year's. New Year's, everybody wants to hit their New Year's resolutions of getting big in the gym, whatever. That's why I'm currently training like a Hashira. If you don't know what that means, then think about it like the hyperbolic time chamber. It's literally solo leveling. But anyways, what often happens is that people who are unfit mentally, and I'll draw the example. Let's say somebody wants to get in shape. Somebody wants to get fit. Mentally, they're unfit. On the mental plane, they're unfit. but they attempt to take the physical action of getting fit to become fit. So they take all the physical action that they think they need to take to get fit. Now, unfortunately, what often happens is that they'll go to the gym for a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months, and then they fall off. Why? Because mentally, on the mental plane, in the realm of cause, they are unfit. And you cannot go outside of the confinements or the boundaries of what your mind has constructed to be the truth. So if you're unfit mentally, you can take action physically of being fit, but it's only a matter of time before your mind traps you back into that loop. It's the same thing. People will work physically hard wanting to be rich without realizing that they're still in a state of poverty on the mental plane. And this is how the real game is played. So and it all comes down to 3 words. I could break down the 3 words to you like this. Just remember these 3 words. So these 3 words are be, do, and have. And this will illustrate what I'm saying. So most people think 98%. And I'll put a 98% here so you're not lost. 98% of people think like this. They think, if I do put the physical action, I will have desired reality. Then I will be desired emotion. That's his desire, by the way. So how most people think is, if I take a physical action, I will have my desire, then I will be secure. I feel peaceful. I feel calm. And that's probably what you think. I see all the time when people apply to work with me. And if you're an entrepreneur who's stuck in a revenue ceiling and you want to break out in 2 to 5 extra revenue in 7 weeks, link in the description. I see all the time people apply to work with me and they think, man, if I just work harder, I will have what I want, and then I'll be content, I'll be peaceful, I'll be free from stress, I'll be free from worry. And that's how we're trained to think about things, which is why so many people lose the game. Meanwhile, you have 2% over here who are playing the game in the way that it truly is. This is why I said reality is not a physical game, it's a mental, spiritual game. You first must change the cause to change the effect. You first must change the mental plane to change the physical plane. It is the as within as the without. The mirror does not smile before you do. How the real people play, or those ultra successful, these secret societies that make sure this type of stuff that I'm giving you never gets out, how they play the game is, and stay with me now, I will be, and when I say desired emotion, what I forgot to write here was essentially what that is a mental attitude. Another way of saying mental attitude is a combination of the mind and a combination of the emotional convictions behind the mind, which output a particular frequency. So I will be mental attitude first. I will be mental attitude. Then, if I do action, I will have desired reality. And look at the difference in how these 2 individuals play the game. First group of people, the 98% of people that fail, which is probably how you thought about it, they think, if I do this physical action, I will have the desire I want, then I will be in the mental attitude that I really want. How the 2% play is, I will be the mental attitude first, then if I take the physical action, I will have the desired reality. So essentially, if you want to be rich, you need to be rich before you can be rich. You need to be rich before you can be rich. It's almost counterintuitive and contradictory to how you've been trained to think, but that's exactly what I'm here to do. I'm here to show you that the true game is by being able to first align yourself to the mental attitude of what you want, then take action. This is what I say to my clients as frequency first, action after. If you, for example, want to lose weight, you first must make your mind fit, because when you make your mind fit, then you take the physical action. It'll be much easier for you to maintain the frequency of that physical action, so then you can have fitness. If you want to be rich, you first must take on the mental attitude of being rich. You need to be rich before you can be rich. Then once you begin to take the actions of whatever it is that contributes to you having a particular form of money, things will fall into play, and then you will have the money. This is why millionaires can lose it all and then get it back. Why? Because they have the mental attitude of this. And I know somebody who's done this, and it is insane. Shout out Alfie. The mental attitude of being naturally rich then allows for you to experience a particular type of reality where it's organized in a way for you to easily accumulate it, because it's all about the state of consciousness first. It's about getting first into the mental attitude of what you want. It's about playing the game mentally and spiritually first, and then physically last. That is the difference. Whereas everybody else plays it physically first, then barely mentally, and then fake spiritually. Let's just be real. And that's how you really and truly create your desired reality. Now, that is rule number one. And don't worry, we're cooking. We're just getting started. Make sure you're taking notes. And I want to see your notes in the comments. Because I swear down, if you're just watching this for fun, it ain't going to work out for us. It's not going to work out between me and you. All I want to do is to ensure that you have the necessary tools to create your desired reality. That's why I share the secrets that the elite entrepreneurs hire me for, but they'll never tell you this stuff. And it's funny because when I grew up, I always thought to myself, these rich people use the secrets of the universe to, do what they want. And now I've become the guy that teaches them that. Anyways, rule number 2. You make the rules. This one requires less of an explanation, really and truly. Anything that you've regarded as truth in your reality is nothing more than an idea pretending to be a truth. And a simple alteration of that idea will lead to an alteration of reality. And this idea is embodied by the understanding that there is no truth except what the subconscious mind accepts as true. Once again, there is no truth other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true. Do you think that you can't do it? Then you're right. Do you think that you can do it? Then you're right. Do you believe they're not going to take you serious because you're a woman? Then you're right. Do you believe that all men are trash? Then you're right. Do you believe that there's no opportunities out here? Then you're right. Do you believe that nobody wants to see you employed? Then you're right. Do you believe the world doesn't want to see you win? Then you're right. Do you believe you can't get that girl because she's short? Then you're right. There is no truth in reality other than what the subconscious mind has accepted as true. None of those things are true until your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. And the moment that it does that, it will begin to structure your reality in accordance to that belief. And then a dumb person will go out into the world and say, see, I knew all men are trash. See, I knew that girl wouldn't want to talk to me. See, I knew I wouldn't be able to do it, without realizing that the only reason it didn't happen, or it did happen, is because your subconscious mind accepted it as truth, not because you're this individual that just knows everything about the world. And that's how the mind can play tricks on you. It will give you this artificial ego boost of feeling like you're right. See, you're right. Yeah, of course you're right, because your subconscious mind had accepted that idea. And the moment you're able to change the rules of the game to make sure that your reality or the rules that you have lead to one place, if the rules that you make for your life don't lead to one place, then you need to honestly sit down, get off YouTube after subscribing. In fact, I don't even care if you subscribe, I'll be real, I don't even care. You need to get off there and make sure that the bricks that you're arranging aren't building you a shed, but they're building you the palace of your desired reality. Damn, that was a bar. It should all lead to one place once again. Your desired reality. If the rules that you have set for your life and the things that you accept as true don't pertain or lead up to the one path of your desired reality, then you are playing the game backwards. I don't even know what type of game you're playing. In fact, you're playing the game that you have set. You play the game that you have set. Ain't that crazy? And the world will try to convince you to accept these rules. They'll tell you, they don't want to see you win because you're black. They'll tell you, they're not going to take you serious. You're a woman. They'll tell you you're too young for this. The moment you accept those rules, the game that you are playing are then structured in accordance to those rules. Not because that's how the game is set, but because that's how you have set the game. You make the rules for your reality. There are no truths, there are merely ideas. And once you alter the idea, you alter the reality. Nothing is true except what the subconscious mind has accepted as truth. You need to make sure they all lead to one path, that is your desired reality. I don't care what you believe, so long as it leads to your desired reality, so long that it makes sure that the bricks that you're building your mind with all reflect the structure of the reality that you want to live in physically. That's all that matters to me. I'm not here for all the extra shit to try to tell you to be a vegan, to wear crystals and to do astrology and all that other extra shit that other niggas are doing. What I'm trying to do is give you practical, metaphysical information that you can use to build your reality in the way that you want. And to be honest, I don't even care if you take me serious, because the people that pay me thousands to do it do take it serious, and you're getting it here. So make sure you're dropping those notes. Now, who would have ever thought they began taught metaphysics by some black kid and a wife beating and chain? Oh man, I definitely don't fit the spiritual aesthetic, but it's just mad corny, innit? And they ain't got no drip. And who don't want to eat meat? No diddy. And I like rum punch too much. Anyways, not the song, I think that song is dead, but the actual rum punch, Ray Nephews. Now, rule number 3. Very, very simple. Rule number 3 is you can't have what you need. Now you're probably thinking, what the hell? How does that even make sense? You can't have what you need. I want you to think about something. And this is something that always frustrated me when I was growing up. Why is it the people who need the most money have the least? And why is it the people that need the least money have the most? I don't think you heard me. Why do the people that need money the least have the most? And why do people that need it the most have the least? Why? It angered me. For such a long period of time, I could never understand it, especially growing up in a situation where we needed more money, and it's just like it escaped us. Then I understood what it all was. Of course, years later, having studied this stuff for 8 years, reading nearly 400 books on the topic. Big waste of time, by the way. Don't do that. You're better off just taking 10 solid books and rereading them. I would definitely drop a books list so you ain't got to ask me again. But the reason you can't have what you need comes down to this. What needing really and truly is importance. And one thing that I kind of discovered just by observation of my reality and seeing what would happen when my clients would collapse their importance, for example, one of my clients, Jake, he owns a plumbing business. He really, really, really wanted to hit 100K per month. He was stuck at 50K for like 8 months, but he really, really wanted to hit 100K. And it's not until we're able to collapse the importance that he was actually able to hit 75K in 2 weeks. Legit. Anyways, importance. What importance creates is this word, space. When you need something, really and truly, that's a level of importance which creates space. So, for the most part, when you really, really, really need something, when you have a big amount of importance for something, the bigger the space. The smaller the importance, the smaller the space. And the space is all about in between you and your desired reality. So if I say this is you, I'm not an artist. Don't know why his legs are so small. If this is you, and we say that this is your desired reality over here, if you have a big space in between you, it's all comes down to the importance. Now, the moment that you're able to collapse the importance, the gap in between you and your desired reality merge into one. This is why the dudes that get the most girls don't deep it. They don't place importance upon it. This is why the people that make the most money don't put importance on it. This is why the moment that you really, really wanted something really, really bad, whether it's a girl, whether it's a guy, whether it's a certain amount of money, it almost seemed like it was running away from you. And it's because you were creating space through your importance, because importance is another way of essentially saying excess energy. You're giving something more meaning without, you're a lighthouse looking for light. That's essentially what we all are. And the moment you're able to collapse the importance, you collapse the space in between you and your desired reality, and they merge into one. Anything that you really, really want, you're not going to get it, my friend. You're not going to get it. And until you can collapse the importance in between you and what you want, nothing's going to change. And the way that you collapse the importance is by understanding that your desire is nothing more than a middleman to a particular type of frequency that you inherently want to experience as an electromagnetic being that you're currently not experiencing. A simplification of what I just said is, you want to experience a state that you're currently not experiencing. You don't want to be stressed. You don't want to be worried. You don't want to be anxious. You want to be peaceful. You want to feel fulfilled. You want to be joyous. You want to feel content. You want to feel happy. But here's the thing. Your desire is a middleman. You can cut out the middleman, scratch it out, jump straight to your emotions, step into that frequency. And when you feel so good that you don't even need that desire anymore, that's when it comes to you much more easy. That's how it works. Buddy. And make sure you bring some hay fever tablets next time. It can't be sniffling up in them. AJ's over there just sniffling, being killed by hay fever. Are you allergic to plants?
Something in the room.
It's the God frequency in the room that's making you sniff all them demons out. Anyways, rule number 4. This is like a Sunday school type thing. My Sunday school is whack. Anyways, rule number 4, the strongest frequency wins. You have to understand that, going back to those caveman days, if you believe if you was a caveman and that, we won't get into all of that. But anyways, let's just, for the point that I'm trying to make, if we go back to the primal days, In the primal days of man, the strongest was typically the individual with the most physical strength. Physical strength determined your survival in that world. Now, as we evolved as human beings and the level of consciousness began to rise up to the level that it is right now, the landscape of the game entirely changed. The strongest individual don't really mean shit these days, because we're not in those primal days where it was a battle of physical prowess. The world that we live in now is determined by the frequency. And the individual with the strongest frequency wins. Now, I broke this down in the video called How to Be the God of All Your Problems. So if you ain't watched that, go watch that. And if you haven't watched the Stop Listening to the Devil, which is just me being realistic, then also go listen to that video. And whatever other video I've dropped, nigga, go watch it. But all it means to be an individual with the strongest frequency is your ability to maintain conviction in your desired reality already existing. And I always think about Jeff Bezos, nearly 30 years ago, he was on a TV show and they were clowning him, saying, "Oh, Amazon doesn't make any money, Jeff. Oh, what's going on there?" And he was like, "Yeah, it makes no money." But if we look at where things are now, he was able to maintain conviction in his desired reality of where he saw his company. He was the individual with the strongest frequency. Now, within reality, anytime that the world can make you lose conviction in whatever your desired reality already existing as a concept mentally, as a frequency that you have established in your mind, you will lose. And anytime that takes place, you will submit and bow before the world. The world will literally put you in a place that you don't want to go, which is probably where you are now or where you've been. And once you trace back to that, think about the reality that you wanted to move towards. You had a vision in mind. Somewhere along the line, the world made you lose conviction in the potentiality, or you recognizing your desired reality already exists right now and you're already in it. That's how you lost. And so long as you're able to maintain frequency in whatever it is that you're trying to materialize, you will be the strongest individual, and the strongest frequency wins. You can even see this with individuals. The individuals that are at the top of the chain are individuals of the highest frequency. Now, highest frequency doesn't equate to highest level of intellectual spiritual consciousness, by the way, for the point that I'm trying to make here. I'm simply making the point that so long as you can maintain conviction, full belief that your desired reality is here. I'm talking about you're rich, even if your bank balance is zero. If you can look at your bank account on zero, well, I'll say this, until you can look at your bank account on zero and not feel emotionally swayed, then you're not living in that desired reality. Your frequency isn't strong enough for you to create the reality that you want. It's always about strengthening your frequency by strengthening the conviction in your desired reality already existing, by being able to maintain sheer conviction without a doubt, no matter what happens your way, that you are who you say you are, regardless of what the world proves to you. You need to be rich before the world proves it to you. You need to be peaceful before the world proves it to you. Your business has to be at 100K revenue before the world proves it to you. You need to be making 10K per month before the world proves it to you. Whatever your desired reality is, you want to be in love, you need to already be in a state of love before the world proves it to you. That's how you emit the strongest frequency. And so long as you're able to maintain that idea without being convinced otherwise, you will be the strongest and you will have the strongest frequency. Now, to wrap it up, rule number 5. And this one might be a bit controversial, but I guess everything that I'm doing is controversial. I'm a spiritual nigga in a do-rag and a chain writing on a whiteboard of ancient spiritual knowledge. So I guess we've already passed controversy. But rule number 5. Reality doesn't care if you're nice. Now, I could never conceptualize the idea of why bad things happen to good people. I grew up in an environment where watching my mom struggle as a single mom, despite being an angel, her and my auntie raised me. Despite watching them struggle, I could never understand how these angels, the absolute most nicest people you'd ever meet, weren't in the particular direction that they wanted to be. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why would we continuously struggle? Why would things not go their way even when they tried really hard? And it's because I came to the conclusion of the understanding that reality doesn't care if you're nice. Now, beyond the religious indoctrination of what you've been taught in terms of how God perceives humanity, what you have to understand is on the highest levels of existence, unfortunately, the concept of morality doesn't exist. And if you think the universe has a level of morality, throw a baby out the window and I want to see gravity stop to catch that baby. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. And once you see it like that, and if a baby puts a fork into a socket, electricity ain't going to be like, whoa, slow down. Don't you see the baby's innocent? It's not going to happen. The forces of nature, whether we're looking at the energy or the universal laws of nature, don't adhere to the human concept of morality. And it goes back to what was said by Bobby Hemmett. You need to stop thinking like a human and start thinking like a god, beyond the moralistic conceptualizations of how you think your world should be because you're such this nice person. The universe doesn't care. Now, the only thing that the universe cares about is your frequency. And your frequency is largely determined by your mental attitude. And another way of saying mental attitude, beyond beliefs, emotional conviction, identity, thoughts, and attention, is simply self-concept. But what I would add to the self-concept going, within Neville Goddard, is emotionally convinced. Because a lot of people will create the self-concept where they think that they are this individual, but your thoughts aren't enough. Your subconscious mind is particularly programmed by emotion. I'm actually reading this book on hypnosis. Yes, I've actually hypnotized 2 people before. My friend Cherry, she won't let me show the video, unfortunately. So yeah, but anyways, self-concept. The universe only cares about your frequency. Your frequency is determined by your mental attitude. Another way of saying your self-concept is who you are emotionally convinced that you are. Who do you truly feel that you are, not who you think you are. Because a lot of niggas think there's something that they don't feel themselves to be, which is why when you try to do them affirmations about how you're rich, it feels wrong because your emotions are in one particular place. And wherever there is a most emotional charge in terms of self-concept is what is going to be outputted into your subconscious mind, which is then going to be outputted into your frequency, which is then going to be outputted into your reality. The universe doesn't care if you're nice. Unfortunately, what we would categorize as bad people have amazing self-concepts. They believe they're capable of anything. They believe they're going to get whatever they want regardless of it. They're unapologetic for having their desires, so there's no guilt associated with what they want that can alter the vibration of getting what it is that they want. Bad people, unfortunately, have great self-concepts, which means they have great frequencies, which means they have great realities. But unfortunately, good people have terrible frequencies, and they have terrible frequencies because they have terrible mental attitudes, and they have terrible mental attitudes because of a terrible self-concept. They lack the belief in themselves. They doubt themselves. They self-sabotage themselves. They limit their potentiality based upon the confinements of what those around them on that frequency has leveled them to. And it makes all the difference, because if they were just able to change, and why do bad things happen to good people? And it's because good people have bad self-concepts. That's what it comes down to. And so long as you're playing this game that you think you're a good person, you do decent deeds and all of this and whatnot, you're going to be trapped. You're going to be completely trapped. You're going to be completely trapped. You're going to be trapped within the confinements of adhering to something that only exists on a human level, but not on the highest levels of existence. You're not trying to please humans. You're really and truly trying to please the universe so you can be put in a reality that pleases you and those around you. That's the real game. So it's not about being nice. It's really about making sure that your frequency and your self-concept are all in alignment to your desired reality. Before wanting a particular desired reality, ask yourself, do you already have that? Because unfortunately, you can only have what you already have. Now, with that being said, those are the 5 rules on how to win reality. Now, I ain't got shit else to say. So I'm gonna just end the video, but yeah, I'll see you later.